Hey everyone, it's your buddy and pal Carnix, Serenity Wargaming and Explanations. First video of the new year. Alright, we're doing our Armada upgrade card. We're going to talk about Gilded Aegis, or Gilded Aegis, or again, pronunciation, Star Wars, it's hard. We're just going to call it Gilded or GA. For this upgrade card, how do you know it equips to it's for a recusant. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner of the card, you'll see the recusant ship icon there. Opposite corner, you'll see what faction it's for, which is for the Separatists, and its point cost, which is 5. In front of its name, you're going to see a little dot or bullet point. Signifies this title is unique. You can only ever have one GA in your fleet. As I always do with these upgrade cards, I just read through the whole thing, give a quick this is how it works, and then of course I then go into any other like clarifications or wording or things of that nature. So yeah, let's get into it. At the end of the command phase or ship phase, you may discard a redirect defense token to move shields to one of your hull zones. If you do, the number of shields in that zone cannot exceed a maximum of 6. You cannot recover shields in that zone while it is greater than its maximum shield value. Okay, so in a nutshell, what's going on here? Well, for this ship, if you have this title equipped, again, at the end of the command or ship phase, if you have a redirect defense token, doesn't matter if it's readied or exhausted. If you have one, you may discard it, and if you do, you then choose a hull zone, and if you can move shields to that zone from your other hull zones. Again, the maximum amount of shields that zone can take is 6, though. It can't go higher than that because there's no value higher than that on the little shield dial thing on it. So in a nutshell, that's what GA is doing for you. It's sacrificing a defense token to put more shields in one area. So to get into some more specifics about the card, the first of all is that some people are confused by the can you with the wording like, oh, can you resolve this card multiple times? It's like, well, keep in mind that recusants by themselves only have a singular redirect defense token, which generally means you can only resolve this card one time unless you're operating with General Grievous, which allows you to recover defensive tokens if things are destroyed. So somebody had the question of, well, like for example, at the end of the command phase, if I pitch a redirect token, if I somehow get that back, can I resolve this card multiple times? And that's exactly the question that was received, was how many times per round can you use this upgrade? Can you recover the redirect token spent to then do more shields? Can you do it again? And yes, GA can resolve more than once per round. It can only resolve in the timing window specified on its upgrade card, and if it has a redirect defense token to discard. So that was officially clarified. Because again, it's at the end of the command phase or ship phase. So at the end of the command phase means when you're done setting your command dials, before you start the ship phase, you say, oh, I'm going to toss this token to move some shields. Or again, it's at the end of the command phase. Because otherwise, if it was limited to only being once per round, it would specifically state once per round. Right? Like it would state that on the card once per round. But the fact that it gives you the option to do either or, and again, it only has the singular defense token. The only way you can again resolve this twice is if you have General Grievous and you're able to recover that redirect defense token somehow. So again, when you get that to the end of that command phase or ship phase, you can say, oh, I'm going to discard this defense token to move shields to one hull zone. And again, if you do, the number of net shields can't exceed a maximum of 6. And again, you cannot recover shields in that zone while its value is greater than the value that's on. So like, for example, if you chose to bump the shields from the front from 3 to 6 by pulling one shield from each of your other hull zones, while it's 6, it cannot recover. What's it saying here? You cannot recover shields in that zone while it's greater than its maximum shield value. So again, That zone can't recover shields, but you can always still move shields to it, like with projection experts, or again, if you want to move shields, uh, or no, you can't move shields to it. Right, you cannot recover shields, and again, you can't move shields to a value also when it's over its maximum value either. That's all the per precedent and fact that we've got from Aspiration and from other titles in the game. So make sure you're reading up on the other fact for those other titles because they also play into how this upgrade card works as well. But in general, you can always move shields to that zone, like or to other zones with projection experts. You just can't recover shields. So what some folks will do is that they'll drop all of the shields from one side, pour it all into one, and then they'll have like projection experts, or they'll use a repair command to like bump these shields in the zone that they took those shields from back up. So I will be perfectly honest in saying that this card could have been written a little bit better. It is missing a little bit of wording because it just says move shields to one of your hull zones. It doesn't say pick a zone or pick two zones or any zone. It just says move shields. Like, okay, move shields from where? Like, which hull zones? It just says move to one of your hull zones, but it doesn't clarify where you're getting those shields from. I guess it doesn't really have to. I mean, it's pretty, it's trying to treat you intelligently and that you can understand, and you can. But again, if I nitpick, I like nitpicking, in that it doesn't specifically specify that you're moving shields from any hull zones to one hull zone. And again, it's not also being specifically clear on like one or two other like little tiny things. But again, the intent of the card is not in question. Like it conveys enough that you understand what it's getting at. For uses of this upgrade card, I mean, for 5 points and the fact you have to get rid of a defensive token to utilize its effect, I mean, yeah, it doesn't have a whole lot of uses unless you only bring General Grievous. Like, there's no use outside of this, outside of General Grievous. But even then, why would you take this over Patriot Fist? With Patriot Fist only being 1 point more, and if you're only ever to make one attack, then you can add two blue die to that. It's like it's so hard. Both GA and Nova Defiant are totally overshadowed by how good Patriot Fist is. Nova Defiant has uses. I like Nova Defiant. But P Fist is just, it's such a no brainer for the point cost. It's Recusants are cheap anyway. So I've not ever really have seen a use for this upgrade. Because again, you have to have a redirect defense token. And if you have to throw it away, that's one less defense token you can use when you're being attacked, especially by things like squadrons. It's such a wash. This upgrade card, it seems like it it didn't get quite where it needed to be in terms of like balance, but maybe one day in the future there'll be a use for it. As it is currently, it's kind of a garbage card because if you put shields in the one zone where it's got 6, but your opponents, because of how these recusants are designed, unless they're only able to see your broadside, if they're able to shoot into your front or to your rear, you've negated the purpose of. And then you don't even have redirect because now it's just shooting around where you've buffed up those shields. And now you can't even redirect that damage into where you've got your zone buffed up. I don't know. It's just really difficult to get this card to work again without General Grievous. And even if you do have General Grievous, it's still you're still waiting for some of your stuff to blow up so you can get those defense tokens back. But anyway, that is GA. Of course, give me an idea of what you do and how you use it. Appreciate it. Not a very long video today, pretty straightforward. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Quick shout out to the sponsors of the channel. Firstly, to Otherworld Events. Regardless if you're needing assistance for event managing, planning, organizing, how to even start, or just need specific ideas for what it is you're doing that you already have a plan for, Otherworld Events can help you out. Second, to Admiral Tater Ship Shop. Admiral Tater Ship Shop, while specializing in Star Wars Armada miniature items, also has X-Wing and Legion items. If you're looking to really get some great looking acrylics on the table, whether it be holders for your upgrade cards or tokens or acrylic tokens, and most importantly, you just want a perfect range ruler with no flaws or errors in it that's going to give you exact measurements every time, highly recommend Admiral Tater. It's the range rulers I use at tournaments. I know they're cut perfectly, they're going to range perfectly, and I'm going to get that best measurement every single time. Also, just look at everything they have available.